Hi, welcome to Module 3 of Managing My Crown. I'm Michelle Larkin, your coach and thought partner along this journey of understanding how to move from managing your insecurities to cultivate confidence and then to cope with change with this newfound confidence that you've uncovered in this journey. So, welcome to Module 3. Hang in there, getting it going, getting it going. So, I want to share with you today peeling back the layers. So, in the previous modules, we've kind of talked about what is the mindset. We talked about understanding your values, understanding the responsibility of the crown, understanding how that you're understanding who you are, what you believe is critical to making moves that align with your purpose. So, one of the things that this journal is invested in doing, I want you to invest in doing, is peeling back the layers of all of the complexities of your life experience to better understand where you are in this path toward confidence and better coping with change. So, we're going to explore self reflection techniques, just what kinds of ways are there for getting in touch with who you are. We're going to discuss the importance of personal development, how reflection and personal development connects to each other and build a strong, healthy self image, and explore common triggers that tend to take us off of our square and put us in the situation of making unsound decisions and putting us in uncomfortable situations that tend to hinder our growth and undermine our confidence, right? So, we're going to use this time together to discuss why the journal, Managing My Crown, why this journal is helpful in documenting your journey, giving you something to reflect on your positive. Successes and your positive decisions that you've made so that you can build that confidence and show evidence that you have put in the work, you've seen the results, and you can duplicate the effort. So, I want to encourage you to establish a journaling routine. That's critical for learning any new skill. You got to get repetition is key, right? Repetition is everything. So, first, I want to talk to you a little bit about what makes us uncertain and not confident. What makes us insecure, right? Typically, you find the things that make you insecure when you're triggered, whether it's somebody questioning your integrity by doing like a performance evaluation and they give you some critical or constructive feedback and it triggers some emotional response, or a friend is questions you about a decision that you've made, and then you begin to spiral and self-reflect and go, "Oh, should I have done that? Maybe that wasn't wrong. Maybe I didn't know what I was thinking." Um, and or fear, right? So sometimes fear, we are about to go do this public speaking, one of the things most people are afraid of, right? Public speaking, you're going to do a public speaking event and you're about to get on stage and then you start to question, am I good? Am I good enough? Should I have been here? Why am I doing this? And so you sit in a spiral. Underneath those emotional responses are the triggers. And I think, you hear people say, don't wear your emotions on your sleeve. Well, it's because if you bump somebody and they get so caught up in the bump that they forget where they're going, then you've been taken off your path, right, by something outside of you. And now you're going in a direction and potentially bouncing and off things. It's just not a good scene. So triggers are they tend to trigger overwhelm. Triggers are the source of overwhelm. Overwhelm is the source of indecision, and indecision creates frustration, stagnation, and then you get stuck. Typically, that's where people reach out to me as a coach because they have now gotten to stuck and can't get out because they can't remember the trigger and they don't know how they got there, and they don't know where to resolve it. So, I want you to take a moment and as we're going through this, is preparing and working in the journal, on one of the weekly pages, I want you to um, tap into what types of things trigger you. And there's a page that says, "What am I working on this week?" So, right in there, like what triggers you? What kinds of things have you experienced that have made you have an emotional response? To argue with somebody changes your mood, makes you, depressed, or takes you out of pocket, like what kinds of things are those things? So either you write about the experience, it was when I did such and such, or I am triggered by people yelling at me. So you make that list. And after you kind of sit with that for a second and just ponder, like, is there a pattern here? Are all these things happen in a certain place? Is it a certain person? Is it a time of year? Is it linked to something? Because behind those moments of insecurity and poor decision making is a belief system, a trauma, or something that you really are unconscious about and therefore can't control or monitor or modulate. And so I want you to just take a moment and peel back the layer and say, for example, one of my triggers being a performance oriented person, and I've overcome this, but being a performance oriented person, I used to get very triggered by constructive criticism because my first response was, what you're not going to tell me is what to do or how to do when I did the work of trying to do it right. Right. So that's a perfectionist kind of thing and a control thing. So behind that, trigger of being triggered by that was the idea that I am not good enough or I have to prove to you that I'm good enough. And then that went back to, well, there's a deep insecurity about my self value being linked to what I can provide. So I had to do some digging and excavating into where did that come from? Is it true? Is it something I've outgrown? Why am I still functioning as if it's true if it's not true? So that's what I want you to do is take a moment, make that list of triggers, excavate a little bit, figure out what's behind them, and then start to ask questions of these trigger situations. Is your response based on an accurate perception? Are you when you are wilding out or emotionally responding? Is it based on an accurate perception or is it a habit because you've always done it? Are you still the person that those experiences that are at the root have the power over? If you're not, let it go. Let it go. Um, Take a pause and think about how are you interpreting your response to those situations in light of the fact that you've grown from the time that the perception or the belief was formulated. Sometimes we can revisit the belief and reframe it, and other times it's accurate, and then it becomes about reframing the response so that you maintain the ability to get out of the exchange, the situation, what you need to versus losing control and possibly creating uncertainty, create mess, chaos, etc. So as you can tell, if you are moving in the direction of understanding the trigger, you're getting behind the scenes and looking at what the belief system is. What you're really doing is doing the practice of becoming self aware. It's interesting to me that, again, as a coach, how many people have can articulate potentially how aware they think they are, but they don't have an understanding of why they are the way they are and haven't even interrogated that. And so therefore self-awareness becomes something that, I can defend myself against. Well, you tend to argue all the time, every time you're tired. Well, yeah, I know that. I mean, I do that. Okay, so does that mean I'm self-aware? Or I know that I argue when I'm tired. So when I see that my personality is shifting or I'm starting to go somewhere, do I check myself and say, I'm tired, might not be the right time to have this conversation. Probably should do this at another time. I'm going to go take a nap. Self awareness should result in self management, not just I know, right? What are we going to do with what we know? So, the benefits of self awareness are personal growth, improved decision making, enhanced emotional intelligence. Managing my crown, which is my mindset, should be coming from a place of the goal of personal growth, the desire to make better decisions, and the ability to walk, function, and engage with my peers, my space, my people with improved emotional intelligence so that I can both receive the beautiful and wonderful experiences of communicating with other people as well as give from a space of pouring into people, knowing my boundaries, being able to just manage my life versus just ride the wave, you know? Like sometimes we just have been just going with whatever. And then 10 years later, you're like, what have I been doing? Well, part of managing my crown is having the ability to set the intention, m- course correct along the way, and ensure that even if you don't reach your goal, you know that you've had a fulfilled life experience because you have been functioning in alignment with your values, with your purpose, with your the gifts that have been given to you. So I want to talk to you a little bit now about some exercises you can do. And one of the things is so happy that you picked up the journal. If you haven't, you need to pick up the journal. The ability to journal and respond to prompts, because each week there are prompts for reflection. Then there's a page where you can talk, walk through, think through um, insights, decisions that you've made, receipts from the week before, showing progress. But journaling allows you to take the time to reflect on some of the things that we talked through in these modules. Another thing that is a really good tool is meditation. I will tell you that for me, meditation was not easy, and I had to start with guided meditation before I could get to quiet meditation. Meditation is meditation. What we're doing is stepping away from the fray, the noise, our life, and really stepping inside and taking inventory and of what are the unheard things that are rushing through our mind. What are the belief systems that, or the fears or the insecurities that keep gnawing away at decisions that we're making? Where do I find my peace? So I will tell you that one of when I started meditating, one of the easier things was do was to focus on once I closed my eyes and once I got quiet and once the meditation started was to start focusing on how my stomach moved when I was breathing. And so just focusing on the muscle movement and the air coming in and out allowed you to step away from the noise. Because at first you will not believe how loud it is in there. And then it starts to gradually get quieter and quieter and quieter because now you're focusing on how your body feels, how air feels moving through your system, how where your tension is, as you scan your body. Like it is amazing how grounding it is and how much context it gives to life to realize that you are not life, you are living life. And in that means that I am in a body that is allowing me to feel, touch, experience, articulate, but I am not that. I am what is inside. And you can't really even experience some of the power to do the personal growth and improve the decision making and enhance your emotional intelligence if you can't step into an understanding of your inner self, your peace, where it comes from, and where what you're grounded in, what your belief system is. So, meditation is a great place to start, and it does offer an excellent companion to journaling as you get to moving toward trying to be clear. Clarity is the predecessor to good decision making. Another really interesting tool that might come in handy for you as you start to do this work is write a letter to yourself, reflecting on the accomplishments, challenges, and aspirations, and write to yourself um, from a place of love. It'd be interesting to see as you sat down to write a letter, did you come from, when you start to write, are you coming from reprimand, accountability, you should? Or are you coming from a place of, I'm so grateful and happy that you have? Or are you coming from a place of, I wish, right? Just taking a moment to see where your starting point just comes up to be is a reflection of what's kind of going on inside. And in that moment itself is a beautiful moment of realization and an opportunity to reframe and rescript and write this letter to yourself from a loving and appreciative space. I think one of the benefits of also writing a letter is getting in touch with the little you. Write to your younger self. Um, if that person wasn't treated with the affection, respect, and trust and love that you would have liked, do it now. You'll be surprised how powerful it is to hold, support, encourage your inner child, so, which then starts to reflect itself in the way that your adult shows up in the world. And I have had amazing breakthroughs in that space. So I encourage you to do so. One of the reasons that I want you to, another reason, because I'm giving reasons throughout this entire module series, is another reason for doing this work is because there is a benefit to repetition. Each time you identify whether you're adjusting your crown, you're managing your empire, you're making a good decision, you go through that process of reflection and internal assessment and then making the move. Repetition brings discipline. It's a habit. Then it becomes a discipline, and discipline allows you to master something. And when you can master something, you move with a confidence of experience, right? And so cultivating confidence is cultivating the experience to trust yourself. And what I'm asking you to do by doing this work is really intentionally put in time to capture these receipts so that your confidence becomes rooted in the work, rooted in trust of yourself, rooted in connection to yourself, so that you don't move from a place of insecurity. You don't move from a place of I don't know. You do know. And it's a really beautiful, beautiful place to be. A confident person also is able to lean into change and discomfort because they know I've come through something like this before. And if I haven't, I know the tools to moderate myself so that I can make good decisions in the places that I am uncertain and haven't been in uncharted waters. At least I know how to navigate a ship. I know where the North Star is. I know how to move my sails up. I know. So, yeah, it's a storm I may not have been in before, but I know the tools that it takes to navigate and to manage the resources that I have. And if I can't, I know I've given it my best shot and I'm going to end up where I'm supposed to end up. See what I'm saying? That's cultivating confidence and coping with change. So, one of the things, just recap real quick. Again, peeling back the layers and sitting with the truth of the moment is really about the adjustment of your crown, making the modulating changes on your dashboard. Empire building is understanding the discoveries that you find in the self reflection, challenging those beliefs and those insights, and getting a good read on your emotional state so that you can build the structure internally, the toolkit internally, the awareness internally to be able to respond to external circumstances and stimuli. And then being able to make that move by being clear because you're not emotionally responding. You're you're reflective, you're grounded, you're confident. You can start with baby steps. It is not required that you solve every problem. Like it's a storm. I'm on the ship. I know how to, and now I'm going to get to the shore in 5 minutes. Well, you might not. Now I just got to be in the moment of what do I need to do this moment to make sure the ship doesn't capsize. Keep the ship from capsizing long enough. Now you can move to what direction am I going? Keep going in the direction am I going? Now I can start to navigate with where am I in light of where land is. Do you see what I'm saying? Like decisions are incremental. And to get from triggered and overwhelmed and out of pocket to clear and concise and calm may take steps. But the discipline of taking the steps over and over again allows you to speed up the response time because now you've mastered it. And now you go from action, reaction to action, pause, reflect, reaction, action, pause, reflect, reaction, action, reaction, wisdom, right? So it's why I want you to keep over the course of the year, keep writing it down, keep reflecting, because in that reflection comes discipline, and in that discipline comes mastery for how you can manage your crown. So I'm going to close this module with the power of affirmations. in order to kind of navigate through that storm and get to the peace of being able to confidently make a decision, sometimes when we're talking about modulating, is understanding how to reframe those beliefs that you found in the work that we've done into affirmations. So, for example, if I don't feel, I think I said in module two, I didn't feel loved. And so I had to reframe that into um, things that may be holding me back. I want you to ensure that as you are doing the work of finding this space of discipline and mastery, that you, as you uncover beliefs that don't align, you pause, write down what the belief challenge was, reframe it as an affirmation. Do the work of repeating that affirmation, putting it near your bed, putting it in your on your journal, putting it on your phone, put it somewhere where you can say it enough times that it starts to become a mantra that reframes, and then you can release that negative belief as you move forward in managing your crown. Thanks so much for being a part of module 3. Look forward to seeing you in module 4, and we are almost halfway there. Thanks again. Talk to you soon. See you in the next module.